No, this is de-stressing. I think we all deserve a big round of applause for all of ourselves. No, which for me also. Because I think whether we realize it or not, each one of us today is contributing to nation building. And I think it goes a long way in creating the India that we all dream for and strive for. Over to the MC back again for a small focus on the SOP on patient consent. Madam.
Thank you, Dr. Parag. So good afternoon. I hope you all have really been having some interesting sessions. So moving on to the next. IML, or the Institute of Medicine and Law, has been instrumental in initiating the exercise of drafting the SOPs on the patient consent for the last 2 years. This SOP, to just keep you updated, is available on the website www.patientconsent.com. And today we'll be going to start the exercise of drafting the third SOP, SOP on Patient Consent 2015. So I very humbly now invite Dr. Ved Prakash Mishra to formally come up on stage and announce the launch. Dr. Ved Prakash is the chairman, Academic Committee, the MCI. I also request Dr. Suresh Vashisht to please join us on stage. Dr. Mukesh Yadav, Dr. Mahesh Baldava. These were the conveyors of the 2013 and 14 for the SOPs. I also invite Dr. Narendra Saini, please, to come up on stage. He is the formal Secretary General of the IMA National. Dr. Parag, we request you to please. Please, you were supposed to be on the dais. So, Dr. Ved Prakash, please, would you formally come up here and just inaugurate this launch? You just click it on just a moment. Just a moment. Yeah, double click on the.
Has it?
Yeah, double click on the left. So, yes. Yeah, this one. Double.
Will be on the other side.
Yeah.
No.
No?
That's the wrong one. This one.
No.
Sorry? No. It was this one only. We just copy pasted. Just a moment.
Has it come?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I now invite the Director of IML, Mr. Mahendra Kumar Bajpai, to just come up on stage for his talk. Followed by that, I think we'll request Dr. Ved Prakash Mishra to give his talk, because I'm told that he would want to leave after that. Thank you.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and my dear doctor friends. Today is a very special day, and special on 2 counts. Actually, this speech was to be given at the end. Unfortunately, most of the dignitaries would be leaving in between to catch their flights, so we have preponed it a little bit. Special in 2 senses. The first is that advocates, doctors, lawmakers have come on one platform to discuss, deliberate, find out problems, find out solutions. This is democracy. This is the right way of raising voice, coming out to a proper solution. The second very important aspect, we have representation here both from the Medical Council of India and the Government of India. And mind you, as far as healthcare goes, these are the only two lawmaking bodies. Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Anil Kumar is here, trying to convince you. He'll try to convince you. He'll try to put forth the government's view before you about Clinical Establishment Act. Before this, he was there with the intensivists in the breakaway session on euthanasia. So the government has come to you. When I asked Dr. Mishra, sir, you should speak something, he said, I have not come here to speak anything. I have come here to collect something. And what he has collected, he will share it with you. Friends, having said that, there are two specific criticisms which I, as the honorary director, must answer. The first one is, hey, you got 3,000 people registered on the website and you invited 150. Why? Serious discussions, serious deliberations cannot take place in a hall of 1,000 people. Very deliberately, we have called members who have either, doctors who have either done law or the ones who are heads of associations or in a respectable position of medical associations. We have chosen, but that was necessary. And the second criticism, which even has come in press, I presume, is that it's a gathering of doctors only. I'm sorry. It's not a gathering of doctors. Doctors are here. Advocates are here. This is our first experiment. If patients would have been here, it would have been a big fight. Next year, we assure you, representatives from the patients group will also be here. Way forward, immediate on the 18th, for 2 hours we are meeting at New Delhi. The MCI chairman is going to come there. Joint secretaries of the Ministry of Health are going to come there. Whatever you have debated today, we will document it, we will give it to them. Our role ends. It is up to you all to take it forward. The process has to go on. This is merely a start. Friends, having said that, there is one person whom I would want to thank from this dais. And in fact, all of you should thank him. And that is Dr. Parag Rindani. Great. 6 months back, when this conference was conceptualized, the problem was who will moderate it. And we needed a doctor. They said advocates won't do. A doctor who is knowledgeable but without egos. It took me 3 months. It took me 3 months to find out, and it was by accident that I found Dr. Rindani. And again, and mind you, for the breakaway sessions on intensivists, Dr. Parag Rindani is in their list. Breakaway session on emergency care, Dr. Parag Rindani is on their list. And obviously he is a hospital CEO. The breakaway session on hospital wants Parag Rindani. We have ensured that he sits here. Parag, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. No, not Arnab. Not Arnab. Not Arnab. By no means. He is absolutely not insulting. I am sure he has insulted no one here.
Not in that sense, but the
So friends, with that, I will ask Dr. Mishra to share a few words. What I have been told, he is an excellent orator. So with you, I will also hear him. And let us listen, what has he come to collect here? Dr. Mishra.
Learned dignitaries on and off the dais, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to bow my head in reverence to a very laudable and notable initiative that has been very painstakingly and diligently undertaken. Concerns confront any lawmaking process. Concerns raise their head on every path that one is expected to be eschewing. Connotations, differential in character, need decipherance. Calls for detailed discussions, passionate debates, but perhaps required conclusions. I take this initiative, ladies and gentlemen, to be a benchmark in its own right, primarily because the concern which is required to be addressed is huge. The pathfinding, which is an essence of the commitment, is something which needs all eulogizing and praise. And the level of opinion makers who have confabulated on this occasion in such numbers, with passion in their hearts and commitment to cause, is something which is unseen, unheard, and perhaps it is adding to its uniqueness. I have 2 or 3 important considerations which, as a person associated with the Medical Council of India for a long time, would like to share with you. 3 important cardinal changes that have taken place, they cannot be lost sight of. Medical profession, which was expected to be regulated by a code of medical ethics, in its normative sense, in my humble opinion, ladies and gentlemen, it got its first jolt when professional services got incorporated within the domain of Consumer Protection Act. The contours which emanate thereof, the precisions which are required to be taken note of, they are significant. Number 1, it's not just a dimension of ethical conduct that is required to be governed under the Code of Medical Ethics. There is something more, something beyond. And that beyond was, which originally, the connotation of medical negligence, it moved beyond the contours of the ethical or unethical conduct. It came under the ambit of what is construed as the compensations, in the essence of a tribunal jurisdiction. It reached beyond essence of compensation under the domain of Civil Procedure Code. It goes beyond that if the negligence is sumptuous enough, construing it to be a criminal offense and to be construed as a crime, Criminal Procedure Code 304A. What I'm wanting to put across, that there is a huge paradigm cardinal change which has taken place over a period of time. Whether it was necessary, whether it was inevitable, what were the causes, what were the situations, what were the compulsions, what were the connotations, today, even retrospectively, if we are wanting to analyze, it would be a futile exercise. They have come to stay as a matter of reality. It is in these 4 important cardinals the entire concept has to be conceived. It's not an arena which is just limited to a zone of emergency medicine. It's not an arena which is just limited to the cause of critical care. It's not an arena which we are just talking in the isolated sense of trauma care. all put under one rubric, there is an important lacuna which I, as a humble worker in all humility, has been able to perceive, and that is, you all of us talk about the fundamental right of citizens. I looked into that entire connotation of fundamental right of citizens, but I am still not in a position to understand whether getting cured adequately, getting cured sumptuously, and getting cured effectively, is it covered under the fundamental right directly incorporated in the Constitution, is the first proposition. The second proposition which I am wanting to put across, ladies and gentlemen, the world has moved far off. What is the charter of professionals could be a matter of speculation, but charter of patients is a matter of global reality. It's not just in isolation that we are required to be dealing an ignorant population. The dimensions are from an illiterate patient to ignorant patient to enriched patient to an empowered patient. In the domain of knowledge, in the domain of understanding, in the domain of precision, in the domain of comprehensive understanding of the situations by virtue of a click of mouse in his hand. Second paradigm shift which has taken place. In these paradigms, now construing that everything will be in a position to be regulated by the essence of a code is inadequate. How exactly this inadequacy is required to be tided over? How exactly this inadequacy has to be converted from a concern and challenge into something subtle, loud, evident, clear, precise, practicable, and yet deterrent in nature. This is the exercise, ladies and gentlemen, which is required to be completed and which is required to be undertaken. The real tragedy is that this exercise is not being taken in a holistic sense with the integration of the inputs from all the relevant stakeholders. Those who are the lawmakers, they have the pulse of law. And those who are the health providers, they do not have the pulse of law. This is the gap. How exactly this gap is to be bridged? Ladies and gentlemen, an interactive discussion is called for. We have so many concerns, but how exactly those concerns are required to be fitted into the agencies of law, we do not know. And we think that lawmakers will be in a position to dispense this off adequately. It shall never happen. Today morning in the discussion is just a small sentence put up by a lawyer friend of mine who said that in the entire disposition that you are wanting to be presenting, there are 4 mays, there are 2 would-bes, there are 3 can-bes. How exactly this will work up? It cannot. If it is to be passed in the form of a mandate, it has to be shall and nothing less than shall. Ladies and gentlemen, these intrinsic understandings, these gaps which are there, how exactly they are to be filled up? They cannot be filled up by we operating in isolation. Professionals operate in isolation. Patients operate in isolation. Lawmakers operate in isolation. And the net result is outcomes also operate in isolation. It is this isolation which needs to be bridged. फासले समझे जा सकते हैं, पर फासले जब दूरियों में रूपांतरित हो जाते हैं, तब वो फासले नहीं महज दूरियां बन करके रह जाती हैं. इन दूरियों को पाटने के लिए दीवारों के बनाए जाने से काम नहीं होते, दीवारों की जगह पुल बनाने के काम करने पड़ते हैं. And it is this particular exercise which is aiming at bridging the gaps, bringing the minds closer, bringing the minds and understandings in an integrated manner for the purposes of evolution of something which could be subtle, which could be concrete, which can be taken back. Lawmaking is a difficult process because the basic limitation is all that we have in mind, law cannot include it. The basic connotation is howsoever good piece of legislation you make, can it be exhaustive to its total extent and can it be illustrative in its final magnitude? The answer is a big no. Even if the best piece of legislation is made, there could be illustrations which could be beyond. And there could be exhaustions which may not be covered in it explicitly. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the real crux of the problem is we are also required to be putting our cardinal considerations into 3 important aspects. The first important consideration is, what is the process that we are wanting to contemplate for the purposes of achieving the targeted objectives that we uphold to ourselves. We put across, but we are not in a position to contemplate the process part of it. If there is a process, there has to be a person who would be responsible for that process. If there is a person and the process, there has to be an outcome or a product which is required to be generated out of this. All these three things have to be specified. They have to be spelled out in order to make law a tangible exercise, a walking exercise, a subtle exercise, a concrete exercise, nay, capable of answering 5 significant posers. And those posers are able to understand. Our entire exercise, if we undertake by ensuring that at the end of it, we are able to answer 5 questions, we will be contributing to the lawmaking in the most elegant and easy manner. And which are those 5 questions? Which are those 5 posers? It was very nicely put up in the English law as, I have 5 honest friends. And their names are what, where, when, why, and how. Answer these 5 posers, bulk of the contours and connotations will be answered. Do we do that? Answer is a big no. And if we do not do that, we expect somebody else to fill in the gaps for us. Nobody else will be in a position to fill in the gaps which have remained unfulfilled, basically because of want of our effort, possibly. Maybe effort is there, but understanding is not there. Effort and understanding is there, but purpose is not loud and clear. And if purpose is loud and clear, the clarity of answers to these 5 poses remain unanswered. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have to bask into hired glory, and we don't have to bask into the past connotations. Future connotations are tough. They are difficult. Technological advancements, the global contours, the global expectations, the global horizons, they have altered the entire connotation in a big way. Futuristic propositions are still more tough and difficult than what we have been in a position to conceive them in a contemporary situation. We need to take stock of it. And perhaps such are the exercises where these talks are taken diligently. Such are the exercises where the real application of mind takes place. Such are the exercises where a real debate, a discussion with an open mind, wanting to ensure that the gaps are filled in and a direction is evolved. And not only the direction is evolved, the niceties and nuances of ensuring that that particular direction takes you to the destination that has been contemplated not by you and me in isolation, but all the relevant stakeholders taken together. It is this, ladies and gentlemen, which is expected to be the exercise. Me talking of my professional rights, they talking of their personal rights, somebody else talking about the legal frame, and somebody else talking about the failure of the framed legal frame is not expected to be the solution. The solution is learned minds have to be put together. But the real difficulty is, which in Marathi literature I read, Pula Deshpande म्हणतात की 4 learned people sitting together, discussing and finally moving in a one direction, ये नजारा आपको कभी दिखाई नहीं देगा. और खुदा न खास्ता पुला कहते हैं कि अगर कभी आपको नजारा दिखाई दे जाए कि 5 बुद्धिमान एक साथ एक होकर के एक दिशा की ओर चले जा रहे हैं, तो पुला कहते हैं कि मान लेना वो 5वें बुद्धिमान का जनाजा अपने कंधे पर स्मशान घाट पहुंचाने के लिए लेकर के जा रहे हैं. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we need to fall short on certain things. We falling short on perception is acceptable. We falling short on understanding is acceptable. We falling short on construction is acceptable. But we not falling short on our egos is something which is unacceptable. Larger goals, larger contours, larger connotations, larger purposes, they can be sorted out and solved, provided we shed our egos a bit, put ourselves together for the purposes of stitching the fragmented ends so that they are pulled together, whereby the subtle focus that we are contemplating is addressed. My humble submission is, I am a small man who is a postman to be carrying things that you put across into my basket for the purposes of being carried to the Medical Council of India, putting it across before the competent authorities with required inputs and trying to shape it up appropriately in the larger interest, not only of the professional colleagues, of the profession as a whole, including all the relevant stakeholders. I am here to record my sense of appreciation and gratitude to Advocate Bajpai and his entire team on behalf of the President Medical Council of India, Dr. Jayashri Mehta, to record a sense of gratitude on part of the Medical Council of India for this notable venture, wherein we know it for certain that carry back home message would be significant, vital, purposive, meaningful, and nay, with all our efforts put together, consequential. Let us hope for that day and let us hope for that situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I'm reminded of my English teachers, and I have never heard a talk in my 45 years of age with such precise delivery, excellent diction, and purpose of clarity of the thought that was there, sir. Once again, sir, we salute you. Thank you very much for being a part of this gathering. Thank you, gentlemen. With that, we close this opening ceremony on the SOP on consent.